Cool.
All right.
Okay.
I'm Shannon. It's
Hi,
nice to meet
Shannon.
you.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet
for
you.
coming in today.
Well,
Want
thank
to
you for your time and the opportunity to interview with
No
you.
worries. Okay, paperwork in order here. Alright, so I like to explain the role a little bit first, and then I have some questions that I'll ask you.
Sure.
If at any point you want me to repeat something, or you want to just take a moment to think about it, I'm happy to do that as well. I like to keep it pretty casual. So.
Thank you.
And then I also have some time allotted at the end that you can ask me questions that I may not have answered as well.
Fantastic.
Okay. So this role is primarily responsible for maintaining our high standards in customer service. Guest service will interact with guests on a daily basis and train other staff to continue creating lasting memories for our guests. So that piece is really important to us, especially with this position. So I'll get you just to start by telling me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'm a very energetic person. I'm very, very friendly, and I get along very willingly, and I'm willing to help others. I'm also very motivated. Very organized. I'm also very reliable and very detail-oriented.
I was reviewing your resume here. You have quite the experience in pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
Why the change? Quite a bit of a jump here.
Yeah, it certainly is, actually. The two main reasons were, well, first of all, with the decrease in government funding over the years, Shoppers Drug Mart decided to cease all 24-hour operations in all of their stores across Canada except for Toronto and Montreal. And of course, being an overnight pharmacist, I was affected by that. So I got laid off, and when considering entering back into the profession in another position, a daytime position, and this is also again as a result of the government cuts to pharmacy funding, that to go back into the same type of job I was doing, I'd be working at either 2/3 or 50% less salary, or 30 or to 50% less than what I was making, and I just thought, yeah, it's time to move on.
Fair enough. Yeah. All kinds of jumps. Even within our own department here, we see people for all kinds of reasons, so we're happy to accommodate that. Tell me what you know about our organization.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that the brand was first came into being in 1907 with the Fairmont San Francisco Nob Hill. In October of 1999 was when Canadian Pacific Hotels and Resorts acquired Fairmont, merging the two companies. I know that your mission statement is turning moments into memories. That you are a global leader in the hospitality industry. I also know that the property management system that you use is Opera, and although I am not familiar with any property management system, we definitely have a lot of theoretical experience that's taught to us in our accommodation management, and I think as far as the property management system goes, a lot of the computer skills, scheduling appointments and stuff that I had in pharmacy are very, very transferable to this. And then the final thing I would like to say is that I know that the Chateau Lake Louise is a premier destination, and that you have activities that go all year round, everything from hiking and canoeing to ice sculpture contests, snowshoe excursions. So it's really a destination all year round.
Awesome. And have you visited our locations?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have stayed at the Palliser in Calgary. I've also stayed at the Lake Louise, Chateau Lake Louise, for a pharmacy conference that I attended that was held there. And although I have not stayed there, I have been at the Empress Hotel in Victoria, and I've had brunch there. Yeah.
And what would you say makes our organization differ from kind of local competition around us?
I would have to say prestige is probably something that really comes to mind. All of your, or a lot of your Canadian destinations are very prestige, luxury type locations, and I think that as I had said in my letter, the one statement I came across in your on one of your web web pages was polished and elegant, yet relaxed and inviting. And I think that one of the prestige or luxury aspect of it, but the other thing I think is the history. And I'm definitely fascinated with history, especially the expansion in Canada westward, and how these a lot of these properties that you have came into being, and
Awesome.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So this role relies heavily on teamwork and interacting not only with people directly in your department, but across the hotels as well. Tell me, just pretend you have a disagreement with a coworker. Tell me how you would go about managing that independently of your immediate supervisor.
Independently.
Yeah.
Okay. I always believe that I like to consider myself approachable, and I think that you can, that these things can all be worked out. I think a big important part is to, first of all, before you even start, everybody needs to be calm. I mean, let's get calm about this. Let's have a clear head so that we can resolve this. Secondly, you really need to listen. Be a listener. Listen to the other person. You also need to understand their point of view. I also think that in a situation like that, it's give and take. I think the two of, honestly, I don't think there isn't a problem that can't be solved between two people, as long as, again, if you're calm and rational and willing to compromise.
Thank you. A primary responsibility of this role is to maintain accuracy through attention to detail. Can you tell me about a time where you had to be extremely detail-oriented and how you would measure the success of that work?
Every day, every prescription I ever filled was, detailed. Essentially, you're making decisions on a minute-to-minute basis in the pharmacy world that can impact a person's health, and you have to be accurate. And I've noticed that since I've left the profession, that a lot of those things still stay with me, and I exhibit them in my work at Olds College. I'm always very, very careful, checking things, reading things twice. I can function in a very, very busy environment to a high degree of accuracy. And again, that is, like I say, part of being a pharmacist.
Thank you. Our lodges attract guests from all around the world. Often our guests do not speak the same language as our hotel staff. How would you go about approaching an interaction with a guest who does not speak the same language as you do?
So first of all, I realize that this is an area of future professional development for myself, and I do plan to branch out and start learning different, at least one other language. As far as dealing with people who don't speak the same language, my abilities in dealing in those situations I would rate as exceptional. And the reason being is because not only talking to patients in person in the pharmacy, also I was answering for a while phone calls referred from Alberta HealthLink into our pharmacy, and quite often there would be, I will call them language barriers, and I think part of it is being an effective listener. You have to really, really listen to what they're saying, but I found in those situations that I really did develop the skill of being able to communicate complex concepts in an effective way with someone who doesn't speak a different language than me. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think I ever was in a situation where I wasn't able to help that person and get what needed to be done. So it is definitely a skill that I have acquired over the years. Yeah.
And the phone skill is even tougher than in person with body language.
It certainly is. Yeah. You bet.
We definitely come across that as well. So you mentioned it earlier. We do use Opera PMS as our management system.
Yes.
And you mentioned you don't have experience with that software, but how would you go about familiarizing yourself with a new software, or even processes that we have in place? How would you go about familiarizing yourself?
First of all, manuals are a very, very good and effective learning tool for me. That's what I have done in the past, and certainly with software changes in the pharmacy industry. Shoppers Drug Mart has printed manuals, so that's the starting point. I think I'm a fast learner though too, so I think I would pick up on these concepts very quickly. The other thing is one of the systems we were using that was different from our pharmacy operating system. It's called Accuro EMR, which stands for Electronic Medical Record, and there was a lot of the functions that you do in terms of booking appointments and such. Those features were there. I think I would be a very, very quick study of it, and I think I would catch on fairly quickly. And again, just my general computer skills, I've noticed that since starting hospitality and tourism, my skills have been developing noticeably. And just the fact that I was working on a computer system all day long for 30 years,
Quick study.
Yeah, quick study.
Awesome. So this role, this is my last question as well. This
Yes.
role is paid at $18 to $20 an hour, based kind of on your experience and where you fit within that.
Mm-hmm.
How does that fit within your expectations in regards to wage?
That would be exactly where I would be thinking as a starting position in this industry.
And did you have any questions for me?
Oh, I do actually. Yes, thank you. First of all, I'd like to just ask, what do you have in place for professional development opportunities? Do you have seminars, those kinds of things?
Yeah, we definitely do. We have seminars. We like to bring people on site as well, whether that's first aid training and that kind of thing. And lots of little professional development aspects of that. And then some of the bigger seminars as well. One of the programs we do as well is a kind of mentorship with the senior.
Oh, nice.
So starting in a lower level position, we have a lot of people that are looking to stay in the hotel industry for quite a long time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something we offer as well, as kind of that shadowing and mentoring.
Yeah, well, that sounds great, actually. The second question I had was, do you have some type of a corporate social club? I'm wondering about the culture of your organization, and what types of social events do you have, those types of things?
Sure. Yeah, what I can say from my experience is that we're all very passionate about being in this industry, and for this organization as well. We have a lot of long tenure employees that have been with us for a while, right? And
Great, yeah.
it goes to speak towards the community that's kind of built within, all the way from the bottom to the top. So we do have a number of social staff functions, whether that's Christmas parties or events throughout the summer that we do kind of as teams as well.
Great, wow. And then the only other question I have for you, Shannon, is do you know when you'd be making a decision for this position?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. So we're interviewing this week. We do reference checks as well, so we're hoping to get back to you by the end of next week at the latest, and we will do that either successful or unsuccessful. We will email you either way.
Fantastic, thank
Okay.
you. Well, again, thank you very much for the opportunity to interview.
Coming in
Yeah,
today.
my pleasure.
And we'll get this.